you said you started your book and the coaching program and you started running ads to it.
Mm-hmm.
Why ads? Does the podcast, you said that you are selling lots of your high tickets because of your podcast. So why run ads?
Well, the first thing is there's no money in a book. Anyone who wants to write a book and make money, I'm sorry to give you this news, but you ain't going to make any money. So our book is a low ticket, loss leader value proposition. Is highly valuable. It's like $9 and they get a free audio. So it's a really good offer. And they get, some bonuses with that. So it's really cool, but it's not going to sell itself. And even if I had it on the shelves, everyone will tell you that it doesn't sell. So you've got to actually get traffic and eyeballs on your book. So the objective of the book was, well, we're going to get eyeballs on this by doing ads. And as a result of that, they then get our order bumps and courses and they end up, coming through. So ads is just imperative. Like businesses must advertise, like without a doubt. And so what people don't realize is everyone's stuck in organic world. And I was just at an event on the weekend with Gary Vaynerchuk and another young guy, Ethan, who organized to have him come and do a fireside chat. And, there was about 2,500 people at the event, at the broader event, the big event before. And 90% of them were in those seats because of ads. Not Gary got 10% in from his organic reach, Gary Vaynerchuk. And so you think about the power of ads. There's a good example of the power of ads. Then I read a statistic, which blew me away that I'll never forget. 98.5% of 7-figure businesses have paid traffic.
98.5%.
98.5%. I was like, okay, so that's it. You do have, you want to have paid traffic, but it's very challenging to send paid traffic to an organic podcast to grow it when you're not making money. So I get that. But you've got to have some other offer, because when people come to your podcast and they love your content and they build a trust and rapport with you, and you seemingly have some skills they need, they will pay you to shortcut that journey. So you ought to have some way to monetize your skills and knowledge. So I think it goes hand in hand with the podcast that you want to have some sort of offer to help someone solve a problem. And I know people now, and you'll be the expert at this, Adam, but I know people now that are not using a book for the front end of their funnel. They're literally leading in with podcasting. So for example, it would probably be beneficial for me as I'm saying this. I'm kind of like working it out in my head. I'm like, shit, I got to get the team to give some ads straight into our Spotify account. But it would be effective to add advertising into our podcast now. Like that would make sense because it's obviously valuable, because people find me, then they find my high value. So you got to have ads. You got to have ads.
It's funny because my team, we run ads for people. We try to grow their people. And a lot of the people that come to me, they're like, okay, are these ads going to go to my business or are they going to go to this? And I say the exact same thing that you just said. I said, no, my objective is to grow the podcast as big as it can and get it so you're triggering algorithms within podcast playing platforms. So now the podcast promotes you also. So we're getting the ads to grow, and we're getting people to subscribe and download and actually listen and give ratings and reviews through advertisement, like private messages and Facebook ads and stuff like that. And the clients are always they always want people to come to their business. And I'm like, trust me, if we grow the podcast, if we put the money into the podcast, it's going to happen anyways.
Yep.
So
100%. You are 100% accurate. That is so true. And I only think, and you would know this too, that the reason why people don't pay for ads to, let's say, their podcast, for us, our book funnel makes a lot of sense and they get to the podcast that way. So we are actually sending paid traffic to our podcast that way. It's just it's not the front of our value ladder, so to speak, in our paid strategy. But people don't put paid traffic because they're not monetizing the back end of their podcast with anything extra. So as soon as, for example, with you, you'd be like, I imagine you'd be like, dude, I love your podcast. What's your high ticket offer? And if the clients are like, well, I don't have one, you're like, well, let's create one, build one. Talk to my friend who does that. He can help you. Because once you have that, I will then be able to scale your podcasting. Because once they monetize it, you'd step in and be like, I'll do your ads. And I think that's a wonderful tripod of a meeting of intelligent business strategy.